my fun ninjas, Greenninjatale here, and today we'll be reacting to Game Theory FNAF Return to the Pit. 3 new FNAF theories by the game theorist. Now, I heard on like what's happening with like Scott and like getting canceled and everything, and I think, oh my goodness, I can't. It's just really dumb how people are acting with this. But it's because it's Scott's own money, and I think, and threatening him. Really? Oh my god. While his wife is pregnant, and this is insane. So, but I still support Scott, and I'm still support Scott no matter what. He supports all of us no matter what, and yeah, I just want to talk about that real quick. So yeah, anyways, on to the reaction. Anyways, but today, again, we're gonna be reacting to Game Theory FNAF Return to the Pit, 3 FNAF 3s, by the game theorist. But now, I'm not sure what to expect in this. MatPat's gonna talk about like new FNAF theories. I think it's about the books. So I don't know. Let's see what he talks about in this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. The original links are in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to the game theorist. Without further ado, let's begin.
You stupid ghost, thought you could get revenge on me? Do you know who I am? I'm William Afton. I always come back. I am Golden Bonnie.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Rip. Press F in the chat.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the wet spring-lock suit clamping down on your subscription feeds. And oh my gosh, guys, finally, after all that waiting, after being patient for so long, after all the delays, it has finally arrived. It is here. A brand new Freddy game just released where we finally get to go up against Vanny the Killer Bunny. Here it is, Security Breach. Furries Rage. Didn't know it had a subtitle. Apparently it's about an onslaught of angry furries on the attack. Oh, sorry, misread that title. It's a Furies.
Oh, Matt, you should have said that. But Security Breach Furries Rage is basically like a fighting game where you fight the other animatronics. It's a pretty cool fighting game. It's basically because Scott wanted to give us like another game, because Security Breach is gonna be like late, like a delay. But he wants Security Breach to be like the best. So yeah.
Very important distinction there. Well, anyway, let's fire this puppy up.
Let's see if they're ready for Freddy.
How good.
So good looking.
Not quite what I expected on multiple fronts. A game-long apology for all the delays with the real Security Breach.
They're gonna kill me?
Yeah.
They're gonna kill me? When they find out that I have to delay the game again? What am I gonna do?
You can tell that Scott's feeling a little guilty these days, huh? Also, apparently,
I mean, I'm not mad, Scott. I can wait for Security Breach. I mean, I want I mean, if you want to be really good looking, and because we have to wait for it, that's fine, Scott. That's fine.
Apparently, he sleeps in a fairy tale bed. Learning a lot about you with this one, Scott. Anyway, just because the official game is still TBD doesn't mean that there's any less to theorize about. We've got a new book, we've got secret bosses, and we've got a lot of pent-up theories behind the floodgates just waiting to pour out. So today, I'm doing another roundup of short FNAF theories, some looking back to the past, some looking ahead towards the future, and some that are so out there that, well, you're gonna see when we get there. So open your minds, your hearts, and your hollow animatronic chest cavities reserved for the bodies of dead children, because I'm shoving theories in everywhere. Theory number one, we definitely play as Michael Afton in FNAF 3. In the newest Fazbear Fright...
Oh my gosh, yes. I've been thinking, okay, I've been having this in my mind. It like makes sense. Because like Michael isn't, what if Michael is in like every trying to speak. What if Michael is in every FNAF game and he goes to like every restaurant, like he changes his name, like let's say like Fritz, the first guy from the first location, that was Michael Afton. Michael Afton changed his name to Fritz, and then he went to the he went to the other restaurant. He changed his name to Jeremy. Oh wait, I'm getting them mixed up. Hold on. No, he changed his name to Jeremy and then Fritz, and then he changed his name to whatever name he gets at FNAF 3, and then to burn down the place. What if? Because he knows that Springtrap is there. Because he knows that his father is there to end his rage. What if?
Book Gumdrop Angel, released at the beginning of May, we as always have
Sorry
our
for talking
main
so long.
horror novellas. The first is the title feature, Gumdrop Angel, a tragic tale about a girl who transforms into a giant gummy bear pinata thing that gets eaten alive by a swarm of saliva-mouthed
Oh
kids
my
at a friend's
God.
birthday party. Talk about your hygiene concerns. This one became a whole...
I heard this one. Okay, I heard this one on Daco's, and this one's pretty messed
heck of a
up.
lot scarier reading it in the aftermath of a global pandemic. But
Stay
as you
back.
might imagine, not a whole lot of lore to be found in a story about a sentient gummy bear. Our second story, Sergio's Lucky Day, is all about Balloon Boy, or should I say Lucky Boy, a doll who's wearing a propeller hat and holding both a balloon and a sign that says, "I'm a lucky boy." In this story, our main character Sergio finds the doll and ends up buying a lottery ticket because of its advice. The next day, Sergio finds that he won himself $600,000.
Woo!
That's great.
It's a story that's a bit confusing because the doll does seem to offer good advice, encouraging Sergio to leave a job that he hates, leave a girlfriend that he hates, upgrade his life in small ways, all things that improve Sergio's existence. But as a result, Sergio becomes obsessed with the doll, asking it for advice on everything, including how he can look good for his big high school reunion.
Oh yeah, the ending's pretty messed up.
His ears, scalp himself, cut off his eyelids, chisel his lips, trim his nose, and remove and reuse other body parts to become taller. As you might imagine, Sergio makes a big impression at the reunion. Again, not a whole lot to say here since it seems so tangential to the character from the games. I'm assuming that this is going to end up being connected to the upcoming Book 9 story, The Puppet Carver, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
I cannot wait for that one. Oh, that one looks
And
interesting.
just when you thought that this book wasn't going to deliver on any lore reveals, we get to our third story, What We Found, which is quite literally just a retelling of FNAF 3. Stop me if this one starts to sound familiar. A night security guard working at Fazbear Frights, a horror attraction themed around the murders and disappearances happening at the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria franchise, begins suffering from severe hallucinations the day the crew brings in a Springtrap suit found hidden in the walls of a different building. Hudson, our night guard, winds up trapped in a pizza oven and gets roasted to death at the end of his shift. It is really sad and also a really obvious parallel to the events of FNAF 3, right? But here's the thing.
Wow. Yikes. And and like I was trying to say something. And I just listened to that story either today or yesterday. Like Daco summarized it, and it was really crazy. Go check out Daco's video, and it was really crazy.
It also really feels like it's meant to confirm for us that Michael Afton is who we play as in FNAF 3. If you remember back to a couple years ago, I had a theory that Mike Afton is our player character in pretty much every game in the franchise. We see the name Mike on FNAF 1's paycheck. We see the name Mike again on the monitor and sister location. In fact, the
It makes sense.
player's guide for that game, The Freddy Files, practically confirms that part of the theory. So that's Mike appearing in 2 games, but what about FNAF 2 and 3? The name Mike doesn't appear anywhere in either of them. Well, in FNAF 1, we know that Mike eventually gets fired for tampering with the animatronics and his odor. Something that would happen if, you know, he was a rotting corpse walking around from restaurant to restaurant to free the souls of the dead kids trapped in the suits put there by his father. So isn't it a little coincidental that Fritz Smith, our protagonist from FNAF 2, gets fired for the exact same reasons, tampering with the animatronics and odor? It's also why Michael would keep getting attacked. We know from sister location that he looks just like his dear old daddy. And lastly, it's why Golden Freddy says it's me every time he appears. It's the brother's soul crying child trapped in the suit, recognizing and reaching out to his sibling Mike. But then, what about FNAF 3? When I first presented the theory, I thoughtfully omitted FNAF 3. It made sense to me from a narrative angle, but in terms of actual physical evidence, there wasn't a whole lot to point to outside of the hallucinations. Since the phantom animatronic jump scares in FNAF 3 were moments pulled from both FNAF 1 and 2, it implies that the person seeing them must have been present in both those locations. But beyond that, yeah, bupkiss. However, what we found may have just given us our missing piece. Our security guard Hudson in the story has a very tragic existence. His dad took his own life at an early age, and his mother got remarried to an abusive man named Lewis. And this guy is awful. Like, he is real bad. Eventually, we learn that Hudson seems to have burned his house down, killing this violent man in the process, and then repressing those memories. Fast forwarding back to the present day, as he's tormented by Springtrap, he hears his dad's voice coming from the suit. That, along with a former abusive teacher named Mr. Atkin, or Mr. Adkin, depending on which page you're talking about. I'm looking at you, proofreaders. You got some splaining to do. Anyway, Hudson kills his violent father in a fire. A father whose voice comes out of Springtrap, along with another person associated with childhood trauma and with a name suspiciously close to Afton. The security guard himself then dies in a fire in a tightly contained pizza oven. To me, it sounds a heck of a lot like the journey of Mike, who would also be responsible for burning his spring-trapped serial killer father to death at the end of FNAF 3 before he—
Yes! MapHat knows what I'm talking about. MapHat knows what I'm talking about. So, Michael Afton went to FNAF 3 to go end his father's rage and burned Fazbear's Fright. So, but, and then, sees that he's still alive. He builds a pizzeria, and then this is Pizzeria Simulator, and then Savage's Scrap Trap Afton, and then Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, and then Lefty, and then burns them all again with the help of Henry.
He himself
Maybe
meets a
that's-
fiery end in FNAF 6,
maybe those
also
were his
trapped
plans.
inside of a small box. It's potentially the confirmation that I've been waiting on for years. Or not, who knows. Speaking of FNAF 3, here's a small observation that didn't fit anywhere, but I wanted to call out. You know how we're pretty confident that Golden Freddy was possessed by
Maybe
two
that's just
spirits,
my theory,
Crying
guys.
Child and Cassidy, the Vengeful Spirit? Well, it seems like Scott may have been hinting at that since FNAF 3. I couldn't believe it either, but take a look. Here's a photo of the bad end.
Wait, what?
Crying Child. I wanted to call out. You know how we're pretty confident that Golden Freddy was possessed by two spirits, Crying Child and Cassidy, the Vengeful Spirit? Well, it seems like Scott may have been hinting at that since FNAF 3. I couldn't believe it either, but take a look. Here's a photo of the bad ending from that game. Notice how the mask in the background, Golden Freddy, has two lights on in its eyes instead of just one like all the others? Each light would be representative of a spirit trapped in the suit. Shout out to Game Theorist subreddit user The Real Bruffi for that one. And while we're on the subject of Cassidy, shout out to Game Theorist, like all the others, each light would be
Wait, what?
Freddy has two lights on in its eyes.
Oh!
Like all the others, each light would be representative of a spirit trapped in the suit.
I get
Shout
what
out to
it's saying
Game
now.
Theorist subreddit user The Real
Sorry, I just had to go back.
And while we're on the subject of Cassidy, theory number 2, Cassidy died in the ball pit. Recently, it was
What?
confirmed by
Wait,
Scott
what?
on Reddit that the Fazbear
Theory 2, Cassidy dies in the ball pit. Okay, I gotta hear this one, but okay, well that theory right back there, what was really
Fright's
amazing.
book series will end at number 11. Random number, with the 12th mini book full of stories that didn't make the cut acting as a bonus. Gotta admit, it's a bit of a shame because this whole time I was hoping they would get 76 more out of this thing, just so we could make a joke along the lines of, was that the right of 87? Anyway, we're back to the game now, specifically with the
Really?
story of Detective Larson and the Stitch Wraith, the overarching narrative that happens in the epilogue of each installment. And that's nothing to sneeze at, my friends. Is that idiom acceptable after 2020?
Oh, the
Anyway, it's a
Stitch
big
Wraith.
deal since this is the story that's historically had the biggest lore reveals. Most notably, the hints that led us to believe that Golden Freddy had two souls trapped inside of him instead of just one. And with only 3 epilogues left before the end of the series, this story needs to have itself a really big payoff. So when we last left our heroes, they had just battled a 15-foot trash rabbit called the Afton Amalgamation. By the end, Larson got infected with the glitch trap virus, and Jake, the remaining spirit inside the Stitch Wraith, realized that he could use his, I don't know, his remnant powers to basically go into people's memories and make the good ones stronger in order to help them. Quote, maybe he could pull a memory out, a good one, and make it bigger and brighter than the rest. If he could ease the man's pain. It was almost like blowing up a balloon, only the balloon was a memory and the air was Jake's will. It's about on par with the level of insanity you'd expect from FNAF in the year of our lolbit 2021. And while that's certainly an interesting story detail, what I instead want to focus on is Larson's half of the plot. The detective who's been trying to piece together all the mysteries around Fazbear Entertainment. Getting infected by the Afton virus has had some weird side effects on him. Specifically, it's allowed him to hop between the memories of a bunch of Afton's victims. Quote, he was getting glimpses of the past. They were memories, but not his own. These images belonged to others from different places and different times. So it feels like this is the literary device that's gonna allow the books to explain the missing children's incident. Larson is gonna get clues via this memory hopping to either see for himself or get the clues to investigate what happened to Susie, Gabriel, Fritz, Jeremy, Charlie, and Cassidy. But then things start to take an unexpected turn. One final quote. As his mind swept him from one visit to the past to another, he always saw the same thing in between. He saw a ball pit. Oh boy, here we go, friends. Get ready, shark. You bout to be jumped. You see, despite all the craziness of the Fazbear Fright story, they've all roughly held to the same logic. Technology infects humans, endoskeletons become haunted, people can be replicated, but there was one that always stood out. For those of you who don't remember, the title story of the very first book was Into the Pit. The story of a time-traveling ball pit that allowed a boy named Oswald to go back to the past to visit the year 1985 and see the after effects of the missing children's incident. As he does this, he's chased down by Spring Bonnie disguised as his father. It was weird, because time travel is always weird, but you know, we didn't think too much of it at the time because it was a one-off story in a collection of random one-off stories. But now, my friends, we're coming back to it. Of all the 24 stories that Fazbear Frights has had, this is the one that the big overarching narrative of the series suddenly deems important enough to come back to for some reason. The time travel ball pit. And that's not our only clue that this thing's
okay, but why the ball pit? Let me see.
Furry's rage, more like Matt Pat's rage at this point, because the game included dabbing Chica, but it all
Oh, come on! I think Scott just wanted to troll. Right.
Features a secret boss battle if you complete hard mode, a secret boss battle against this, a slithering reference to FNAF 4's confusing lore, Chica without her beak, the 6 a.m. alarm clock face, the FNAF 4 locked box, what appears to be an IV bag in the back there. Basically, in this one sprite, we have Scott acknowledging that the real final boss of this whole damn series is figuring out what FNAF 4 was trying to tell us. It's also him poking fun at the FNAF 4 dream theory, considering the thing's name in the source code is Dreamgeist. But of all the stuff that's hidden inside of that head, there's a few random round objects that don't really fit anything from FNAF.
The ball pits.
Easter eggs?
The
or
ball?
Maybe they're balls from a ball pit, considering that balls and ball pits have never once been important to this series. And in the level where you fight the Dreamgeist, we see screenshots from previous games, sister locations blueprints, a camera feed from FNAF 1, again implying some level of time travel, or spanning across time, because remember, Dream Theory came out before sister location was released, which makes that FNAF 5 blueprint reference really stand out here. Now, by no means am I saying that there's time travel in the games or anything like that, but the sudden re-emergence of the ball pit and Fazbear Frights opens up a few interesting possibilities. One, that Cassidy died in the pit. Remember, the vengeful spirit has powers that go beyond all the other spirits, to the extent that it's able to trap Afton in a state between life and death. So if anyone or anything is gonna imbue a ball pit with time powers, Cassidy seems like the one to do it. And we know that someone did die in there because both in the pit and the latest epilogue make a point about the pit's sticky balls. Get your mind out of the gutter there, people. Quote, he studied the plastic balls.
Really?
The substance covering the plastic surface looked like blood. Old blood. And here I thought the worst thing that happened in a ball pit was getting pink eye. Fire up the golden Freddy in the ball pit thumbnail, boys. 2, that the series is gonna end with Larson and the Stitch Wraith using the ball pit to save the missing children from Afton and release their spirits. Why would I assume something like this? Well, giving Larson memory powers would be enough to tell the kid's story. Let him see glimpses of their trauma, clues that lead him on an investigation. The ball pit, though, becomes necessary if the story plans on him physically interacting with those kids. So I wouldn't be surprised if the ending of this entire book series is unwinding the thread that started it all. The missing children's incident kids are saved, which, in the process, undoes all of the other horrific stories that spin out from the Fazbear pizzerias. In the process, Scott retroactively gives all the sad stories from the Fazbear Fright series a happy ending. And finally, number 3, Detective Larson becomes Afton in what is a self-perpetuating time loop scenario. Oh, sure, you all laugh, and trust me, I think it's dumber than YouTuber boxing. But hear me out here. We have our character Larson.
But
in
really? That happened?
Puts it
Oh my
Afton's
goodness.
darkness. We also have ourselves a ball pit that allows him to go back in time for some reason that's going to be important to the narrative. So what if Larson winds up going back in time to investigate, only for the darkness to take over and turn him into William Afton, setting all the events of the story into motion? Who knows, maybe we truly do exist in the darkest timeline and Scott Cawthon gave the green light to a story that allows Afton to be a creation of his own future self. Tell you what, it would explain how Afton was able to create such futuristic advanced robotics when he was literally in the early 80s, because that's something that will never get explained. Like I said, that theory is real dumb, but you know, it is on the table. I wouldn't put it past this series. Time travel opens up all sorts of dumb decisions, and time loops are real hot right now. And heck, we do see a lot of ball pits in that new trailer, one that comes complete with a day-night mechanic. Huh? Will I be right?
Yeah.
Wrong? We've got ourselves 3 more books and an indeterminate wait for security breach to arrive, so you can bet the theories are just gonna get more and more ridiculous until that day comes. So in the meantime, remember to actually listen to my dear friends Rhett and Link's new podcast, Ronstadt. If you like FNAF, then chances are you're gonna really dig their new project. It's a horror sci-fi comedy about a guy who sounds suspiciously like Rhett from Good Mythical Morning. He becomes a 911 call operator who has a 6th sense that allows him to solve supernatural mysteries while also helping people on the other end of the line.
911, what's your emergency? I'm so scared. There's this thing, and it's after me.
Kind of like Ghostbusters meets Doctor Who. And even for me, a picky podcast connoisseur, it's really enjoyable. So check them out. I am super proud of the work that they're doing on that series. I want to give it a little bit more love because it's definitely...
That is cool. But, oh man, those were some good theories. Okay, so, but yeah, but what I was talking about, but Michael Afton, yeah, but, I was kind of, predicting that Michael Afton was, was working in all of the the Phasphorus locations. Like he changed his name to like Fritz and Jeremy, and then he might have changed his name to someone else during working through the third location, and then he burns it down. So yeah, but yeah, we don't yeah we don't know. It's just a theory, guys. Anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, I really enjoyed these theories. These theories were really interesting, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, yeah, and about the whole Scott situation, I just still feel so bad for him. He shouldn't live like that, man. Poor Scott, man. But, yeah. Put in the comments below, guys. Hashtag Stand by Scott. Stand by Scott. Alright. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. Leave a like, comment down below what do you guys want me to react to next. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you ninjas later. Peace out, guys.